Well, sorry about that. I got on the phone and didn't realize that I had pushed start already. Or I thought I'd pushed cancel, but good morning, good afternoon, evening, or night, whatever it is. I hope you're feeling fine. I am here without the sleeves, showing off the muscles, and checking out my deck. And I kind of wanted to show you a couple things. I tested it just for a short period of time, and then I went and did some work and got some food and hung out with the wife, and then came back in and I noticed some things about the deck that weren't working in testing. One of the things that wasn't working in testing was having Invoke Justice and having three colors. That's just, it didn't happen. Um, it also had an interesting problem, though, and it was a problem that I thought I knew the answer to, and then it turns out I didn't. So, you know, typically, if I've got a card that I think is like a bomb level kind of card, you're just taking something out of the, you know, out of the graveyard and plopping four counters on it, um, is going to seem pretty powerful. I mean, it's kind of like recasting right to the battlefield from the graveyard and recasting the biggest pump spell that exists, it feels like. And so I thought, like, yeah, man, this in limited, like, no brainer. It's going to be amazing. Turns out, um, it's nowhere near as good as this. This card is nuts. It's just nuts. In testing, I found some synergies specifically. Let's see, we'll put this guy right here and this guy right next to it. So, not the easiest to see. I apologize. We'll maybe like bring it over here just a little. Tameshi, I had in my mind was going to be discarding cards. And so I was thinking that we were going to need some kind of, take the card out of the graveyard, self-mill myself, and then just kind of pick what I want to cast next kind of thing. Um, it's the opposite. It's the complete opposite. All it does is draw from your deck, cycle your mana that you just played out back in and then back out again, and provide you with a ability to recur any artifact or any enchantment. And that works really, really well in a black-white deck with a lot of artifacts. We have 6, and enchantments we have 7 that's over here. So 13 cards out of the 23 that are in here are artifacts or enchantments. So we got about a 50-50 shot of pulling a playable back out that I think would work really, really well. A couple things to note on this. I found this really neat recursion ability where Tameshi's on the board, right? And you've got a Ninja's Kunai, just as an example. This ability is missing one little crooked arrow saying that it has to tap to make it happen. And so, because of that, if you've got a bunch of mana, and it's like what happens, especially in this format, it seems like you have a wide board state, opponent's got a wide board state, and you're looking for some way to kind of like finagle and figure it out. And he's got like a 6/6. And all of your removal spells look like my removal spells, which is there is a warning slash, but for the most part, they're not straight up removal. They're like hurt for 3, deals 2 damage, maybe a third damage, if you have a modified creature, right? And so you have a hard time getting rid of these creatures. If they're not dying in combat, they're just not dying. And you're like, I don't know, I don't have a Repel Vial in my hand, let's just say, for an example, but I have a Tameshi, and in my graveyard is a Ninja's Kunai. Well, follow me here on this. For 1 white mana and X, I can get something out of the graveyard, X being its mana value. So I spend 1 white mana and 1 any mana. Let's make it not white, though. Okay? Just that's the only key thing that I'm going to say. Make it not white. And then you go pull your Ninja's Kunai out. Woohoo! And it goes right to the battlefield, which saves you the 1 mana cost. So it's only going to cost you 2 mana to use it. So you plop it onto your Tameshi, you tink your Tameshi, and you tap her, and you throw your Fireball for 3 right there, and your 6/6 is now a 6/3, right? Okay, okay. Guess what? As long as you have one more creature that is tappable, you can do this again if you've got the mana. And we figured this out. You use the white mana again. That's why you didn't want to use their second white mana as the random one. You pull out the one extra mana. You go get your Ninja's Kunai again out of there. You will be pulling a second land out of your crew, so this is definitely something that you want to have enough mana on the board to do. But you pull your second land out. You plop your Ninja's Kunai on creature number 2. You tap creature number 2. When you blow up the remaining 3 health out of the 6/6 that you were doubling the Ninja's Kunai towards, and Bob's your uncle, clear line of path. All you had to do essentially, you didn't even need the Ninja's Kunai in your hand to make this work. All you had to do was have a Tameshi and 2 creatures that can tap, and you've got yourself a 6/6 removal. Like, gone. Anything with 6/6 toughness or less, gone. Out of there. That's pretty cool. And guess what? Your kunai is still waiting for you anytime. So the next, like you whittle out their big threat, go ahead and do it to 2 other smaller threats on the next one. I mean, this Ninja's Kunai is the fireball that never quits. It is the removal spell that is always available to you. And so getting it out and using it early is now the absolute thing that you should be getting done. It's very rare that I would say I want to have a Ninja's Kunai just sitting there as a threat, waiting for them to see what they want to play. Sometimes I like to play it with 1 mana on turn 1 and then just not touch it for like 2-3 turns, because it is going to hurt you on your board development. But we have a lot of creatures down here in the 1s and 2 mana spots, and so once you get to like 4 or 5 mana and it's already cast out as 1, you can cast your 3 mana creature and use the remaining 2 mana to pop your Ninja's Kunai and use it as a removal spell. Which is always nice. But using it doesn't lose it, and that's one of the key puzzles. Another key that I liked out of here was in the pinch, when you need some life, you can pull a Circuit Mender out and directly get the life right away. Or you can pull a Mukutai Ambusher out and have a blocker that's going to give you back some life. And so you have some life gain synergies that exist between the Golden-Tailed Disciple, the Circuit Mender, the Lethal X. Oh, yeah, the Cycle's an enchantment, and this thing pulls out targets or enchantment cards. So the Lethal Exploit is another one. I'm sorry, the Leech Gauntlet is another one. So we've got some life gain, life gain, life gain, life gain, life gain. So enough life gain to help stabilize us if we did take a lot of time kind of dirtling around, or maybe we took a bunch of damage. We got rid of their 6/6, but we tapped 2 of our creatures to make that happen, and they were able to get an attack in there and do 6 or 7 damage. We can regain most of that health back simply by recurring these like artifact creatures that give us the life gain back in the enchantment. So I went up on the Golden Tail Disciple and brought both of them in just because that enchantment is really, really good. Plus, he is a great blocker. I mean, nobody wants to give their opponent 2 extra life when they're attacking. And being a 2/3, he's kind of tough to beat. Like, a lot of creatures just don't have the power to take him down. So, huge fan of how Tameshi plays. Maybe just in this black-white format with a splash of blue is the right answer, because in this format, so many of our creatures are artifacts, or our spells are just enchantment creatures, right? Like, enchantments are really, really powerful over here, and we are just all over the place with that stuff. The one exception that I had was this. You do get a card draw each and every time you do it as well. And so doing it in the mid game is not bad at all. I always feel like I've got the most amount of cards for the first 3 or 4 turns. They're all planned out. Everything's going well. And then, man, do I want some card draw for turn like 4 through 7 or 8. I just feel like I'm almost top decking everything because I've played my mana out as much as I could. I've played my cards out as fast as I could to get them on the board. And then it's just like, is this one card good enough? Am I going to take a whole turn off? What's going to happen? Don't have to ever take a turn off anymore because of Tameshi. Tameshi uses that mana to pull a card out. We know what we're going to do. We're going to use the Ninja's Kunai. We're going to affect the board. Life is good, except Tameshi also draws a card for us, which means now we've got some card advantage going into turn 2 or turn 7 or turn 8. It just kind of never stops. The card advantage just keeps coming. And so I recommitted to splashing blue, essentially, and said, I've got to get the Tameshi in here. I'm also loving the Prosperous Thief with the Tameshi. And the reason why the Prosperous Thief is so good is because you can get that ninjutsu effect, right, on things that have a nice ETB, this is like a removal spell, the sack kind of deal. doesn't have really an ETB, but this whole saga is like an ETB, right? This whole saga is an ETB. So there are some things that you get a chance to do with the Prosperous Thief, the usual ninja kinds of stuff to doubling up ETBs, and you're making that treasure token. That treasure token is very quickly getting converted into fireball card draws. Fireball, card draw, fireball, card draw. And it's just kind of insane. If this hits the deck and it doesn't get answered within the first 2 turns or 3 turns, you're not really casting anything anymore out of your hand. You're just collecting cards in your hand while you're kind of dirtling with their side of the board more than yours with the removal spells or your health on the ETBs. And you're gaining an opportunity to kind of set yourself up for what your final push is going to be. You're going to minimize how many creatures they're going to be able to hold while you're maximizing the amount of cards that are in your hand. You're gaining the ability to get even like stay on time with the mana while you're gaining some of these treasure tokens if you're able to pull that off. And it just becomes way too much, way too quick. The other card that is excellent in this deck is Naomi. I have played in Constructed and I've tried Naomi and I've never liked it. It just couldn't make it work. But in Constructed, a 4/4 dies pretty quick. In this, it does not. And having the vigilance, no, it doesn't. Not the creatures have vigilance. That's over here. Having the vigilance over here makes like if you think that they might get killed, but they'll keep one of your other creatures from getting killed, and they don't. Well, they come back. They're good blockers on their backside. They also they don't really have a lot of synergy here, but if you wanted to attack with one, you could do that. This and this card also work very, very well together because you can pop your Selfless Samurai as soon as the removal spell hits your Tameshi. So if somebody recognizes what's going to happen to them when the Tameshi comes out, then they're almost immediately going to do it. So my ideal situation, I think, is Reckoner to Selfless Samurai to Tameshi to Prosperous Thief. Like that is like the best playthrough I've got, and I would be pulling maybe the Iron Apprentice back or the Reckoner Raid back off when I pull the Prosperous Thief off because Mr. Menacey over here after, turn 1, turn 2, he got Menace, and he's attacking on turn 4, right? And so that is the most ideal play line that I can see where we're going to get the most amount out of everything that we've got going on over here. But, you start with the Ninja's Kunai on the deck and just let it sit there, that's fine. Build a Selfless Samurai, go with the Tameshi, then just use the 2 mana that you've got on the Tameshi and get rid of one of their very, very annoying threats, something that maybe is eating you down a little bit on life because they had 3 damage and you didn't want to lose the Selfless Samurai. This is really not so much a creature as it is a protection spell for Tameshi. It's like or safekeeping, just sitting there on the board waiting to die. I do think that this may be the better deck of all the ones I built because of how it transitions from being kind of aggressive with 1. This turns into a body, which is 2, 3. This turns into a body 4, 5, 6, which I really want to play later, but give you an idea. 7, 8, 9 different creatures that we can put on the board during the first 2 turns. That sounds like we're playing nothing but small ball to me, because usually a good deck has 15 creatures. But here's where this changes and changes fast. It's this card and this card are both essentially creature factories. And so you've got 2 creature factories, one for 1 mana that makes a 1/1. Excellent chump blocker, excellent defense. And then this one, every time it enters the battlefield or attacks, and you control both an artifact and an enchantment, which is not hard to do in our deck, you get to create a 2/2 samurai, right? So we're making 1s, we're making 2/2s, and we just kind of keep getting wider and wider very, very quickly. If we've got a problem on their side of the deck, we've got a flyer over here that ETBs, sacks a 1-drop, and destroys a creature on their end. And so there is a bit of a play line that says Mukutai Ambusher to Gravelighter. Gravelighter goes out, sacrifices a dude. Mukutai Ambusher flops out Gravelighter again. Gravelighter comes back, sacrifices another little 1/1 on the next turn. Boom, that's double whammy. We still own a Gravelighter, we still own a Mukutai Ambusher, and we still own our engines that make our little pass-through kinds of guys. So removal like city and tons of synergy. This may be the one card that I question with the with the high-speed hover bike being a 2/2 that taps a 1 creature to get in there, and kind of sitting back a little bit in the deck, I don't know that the Papercraft Decoy, like I can't. I've played this in practice. I played it for like maybe 15 games, and the Papercraft Decoy got out quite a bit, but I can't remember it doing anything of note. And it's the one toughness that really drives me crazy with this card. When it leaves the battlefield, you can pay 2, and if you do, you get to draw a card. So it's kind of a more expensive card draw kind of feature. I thought for sure the card draw was going to be the name of the game. But I'm not playing Papercraft Decoys just to pull him back, because every time I attack, there's just such an easy block. Any 1/1 would kill him. So I'm thinking of taking this out of the deck and popping in the high-speed hover bike, the Rieto Sentinel, right? Or maybe one of these like little tricks that exist up here, or this one. I do kind of like this one too, because of the treasure token idea. In fact, yep, I just made up my mind. It's either high-speed hover bike, which just kind of taps a creature on the way in, can enable an attack, which is good. Could enable a lethal, but you'd have to be sitting on this thing and holding it back. She's also an artifact, so we're not losing anything, and we have a much better board presence, not needing to tap something else to make this happen. So I say we do this and we lean into the synergies that we liked with the Prosperous Thief in getting a treasure token or 2 that is going to equate to a card draw and a recursion of our Ninja's Kunai that's over there. So Papercraft Decoy out, Undercity Scrounger in, because like I said, we're just not getting any offense, and it's just not really a good deterrent either. In this case, we're getting really nice defense, we're getting really good ramp, and we're still getting that artifact synergy for our artifact slash enchantment balance that we were looking to have for cards like Naomi and for cards like Michiko, right? Because we've got like 13 different artifacts slash whatever's going on. So we took a 2-drop out of this, but I don't think we're going to really feel it as a negative here, because I think that we're going to be able to protect and not have to worry about blocking with Tameshi because of Undercity Scrounger. I think being a 1/4 blocker that when they don't attack, you can tap and turn into a treasure on their turn is so good. You do need something to die. I can easily find ways to sacrifice a 1/1. I can easily just send one in and watch it die and just kind of say like, yeah, I spent 1 mana, but I turned you into a treasure, and my mana got to reset at the end of the turn, and so now I've got an extra mana that's out there. So it's kind of like this thing's pooping out mana. Yeah, there's just a lot here to like. I feel like this deck functions really, really well with the synergies. I do think this is a bit of an accidental synergy. I wish I could take credit for it, but I hadn't really thought about it that way. I definitely think that this synergy is like off the charts, really good. And then I knew these were going to make the bodies. I knew we were going to be able to grind out something in order to kind of get a wider board stance. And I knew these removal spells, have their place, right? Getting rid of a target enchantment, they throw a Beseiju out there. You get rid of that sucker. You do not wait for that thing to come out and be a 8/8, 7/7, 9/9. Like, no, 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 no. They can protect that thing. You wait until the minute the Beseiju hits the deck, and you let him get his 2 land and say, there you go. That's what you got. Michiko's is ridiculous as always. Having a flyer on the deck is a really important part about making Michiko's Reign of Truth work. Casting 2 Michiko's Reigns of Truth is just game over, it feels like. It's just really hard to beat. So I dig this deck. I'm kind of excited about this. I haven't done any warm-ups. I don't want to miss a practice, so we're going to do 1 bot match practice because I just came back in the door. So bear with me here while we do this. This is the standard version of the deck that I did, and I didn't make the little adjustment with the Undercity Scrounger, so we're not going to have as many access to treasures or a defense, but with Sparky, I don't think either of those are happening. We're a little off color here. We have something to do on turn 3 in both of the colors of mana, but we don't have 3 mana, unfortunately. And then we wouldn't be casting this right off the bat, but I do like leading off with a Moth Rider, and I definitely like putting this down as a stabilizer. So we're going to take a mulligan on the off chance that we're facing like a mono red, and at least we've got a 2-drop and a 1-drop. So we're going to have to keep this one, and we're going to move. We don't normally carry two samurai. I just try to do that to balance the deck. So we'll do it like this. Hoping for a land. And I think we got one, actually. Yep. So there is a draft invoice over here that you can kind of watch if you've got the overlay, and it'll just give you a little heads up to tell you, oh, I think you got this coming up next. A couple of 1/1s aren't too scary, but if we attacked in with both, one of them would kill us. We don't care about the mana, but it's all white and there's not much we can do. So let's just keep the life gain off on their side. And like I said, we're okay playing the kunai. If we can get that blue creature, maybe some blue mana, we'll be in good shape. Not a land yet, I don't think. Yeah, that works. We'll heal back our life. I'm going to say no, otherwise we'd just be trading with the charm spray, and it's not very good. There might be a trick here, but I'm okay with it if it happens. It's unfortunate, but it's okay. We've got ways to get things out. Wow. Mana problems, like, wow. Well, we're going to take some pretty serious damage here. 6 damage. I don't have a way to remove Hollow Priest at this point. It's just nutty. And I can't cast anything. And we're in deep doo-doo now. Boy, this thing got off the charts, didn't it? He is up to almost 30 health, and we got 1 mana of the wrong color, so we're still stuck. This is the negative side of having 3 colors. And I think that's game. I mean, there's no way I'm coming up with 4 different blockers over here. Hey, I got one. Does this count? Will this be enough? 3 negates that, and then 3 more damage is exactly lethal. So, unfortunately, nope, that's game. Mana problems. This card is busted. It's always been busted. It's crazy. Let's try it again. Maybe we don't get messed up with mana all the way across the entire time. Only 2 in this hand. One of them is black, one of them is white. Those are the 2 main colors that we need. And we're going to end up with a keep on this guy here. I like this all the way across for the first 2 turns. If we draw 1 more mana, then things like this can start to show up. Otherwise, we'll be staring at him again. We got a mana. Alright, so again, we're just using for mana efficiency, throwing things out there with the 1-drop side. Trying to stay aggressive, give him something to think about here. I can't really block that without just losing my guy, and 1 damage isn't scaring me. So, we're going to leave it as is. So, a really nice playthrough line here is we do have this with an enchantment and an artifact out on the board. And so I kind of love the idea of destroying 1 tapped creature right now and gaining a 2/2. Pretty much the best amount that you can get out of 2 white mana. That's pretty good. Iron Apprentice comes down to as an interesting blocker. This is just going to get traded, so we're going to say no on the attack. And we'll have a good line on the next. Excuse me. Sorry. Breathe. All right, so we're throwing some mana out, and okay, so we're probably not going to be attacking with Moth Rider Patrol. Reason being is we're going to get rid of the Octafont, and then everything else below works really, really well, right? So we take out the 3/3 that would kill all of these things, and instead of having to worry about a trade, there we just say all attack, assuming that Iron Apprentice could have traded with Gull, tossed its 1/1 onto Moth Rider, and then Moth Rider would have been a really effective card for the rest of the game. I guess Sparky's too smart for that. That's okay. Right. This thing is only 4 mana with 1 black in order to ninjutsu in. And we could guarantee that the Nezumi Road Rider, Road Captain here, does not get um, blocked. I think I'm going to attack with this and this again. We could have tapped it too, but that doesn't affect the board. It's kind of a late game sort of mana sink, if you ask me. So we'll say next, and then we'll get a block. Oh, you are too smart sometimes. Is there another one? I've seen another one like a lot. Okay, so he doesn't end up trading, which is kind of cool for us. We'll do this. We'll drop this in here, and what that does is give us a reckoning rate to cast on the next turn while getting in 5 damage, which for 4 mana, getting 5 damage on a guaranteed hit versus 2, pretty good. Pretty good way to spend the mana. No, we're not blocking that. That's fine. Alrighty then. I do see a Naomi of Pillar Order, and I do not see an enchantment creature on there. If I cast this, unfortunately I'll miss out on one of the Samurai, so I'm going to do it this way instead, and get my enchantment creatures out on the deck. This is an enchantment, and this is an enchantment. And I'm okay with attacking with my Dokuchi Shadow Walker, and I'm keep trying to kill this thing, and it just doesn't happen. So we say, just you two attack. And we did it. We'll put this on here. It's just now it's a nice blocker against the goal. Whoa. It was a nice blocker against the goal. It is now not going to block 9 different goals. That's the problem. We'll do this as a trade just to whittle down what's happening in the skies. And none of these are enchantments, I don't believe. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I guess we won. That's nice. So winning on turn 6, because the way that they do the decks, you pretty much guarantee that they're going to get a land every single one, so you can kind of keep track. We'll do this one more time. Deck certainly played much better because we weren't mana locked, and we had much better choices of things to do. And then we're just going to go in. I think we'll have enough deciding this is a bad hand. The only thing that we can do before turn 3 is something we can't do because of the land situation, and that is happening again. So I guess I'm going to have to keep, and I'm going to have to take my Moth Rider and move it over to the side. I'm okay with this because I have a 2 drop, a 3 drop, and I've got both MTGAs. So we'll start with the artifact, and we'll hope to get a land here soon. Doesn't have to be right now. Of course you do. Yeah, we'll just get some life advantage on you and do a little tradey on that. That sounds good. Really? We don't have anything that we can do? Uh-oh. Land problems again. So 24 lands is the equivalent of 16 lands. If you do the math on the... if you do the math, right, it's... and you probably can't see this, but if you take 16 and divide it by 40, you end up with about a 40% chance at getting a land. If you do 0.4 and multiply it by 60 cards, just to see what the ratio would be, that would be 24 lands, exactly. So, I mean, we don't usually run 24 lands. That's kind of the key here. Okay, let's do it. We're going to sacrifice Gravelighter in order to take out a guy. Just keep it from being too crazy because we are still desperate for that land, and it could be a while when you're running 16. In our draft deck, we're running 17 lands. So there's none of this like mana locking out. Why do I say none of it? It's just a lot less likely to happen. I haven't seen it happen yet. Half of our damage come back. We're going to take 3 more here. Yep. We're getting land everywhere now. Okay, so a little bit of choices here. I'd like to hold on to these 2 and not stick them out. This affects the board in a positive way, but not for the flyer. So the only thing that we would be using it for is the lifelink. There's nothing negative about that. We do have 2 whites too, so we could just double spell these 2, and I feel like that's probably the better answer. So let's scry 2 right off the bat and see what we've got coming our way. Our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be our 6th land. We could probably live without that. And a Ninja's Kunai is great for the removal spell, so we'll say yay yay. And that will probably help us get rid of our flyer. Knowing that the flyer could be out the door means let's bring our Selfless Samurai into the picture here for a minute. We are going to still take 2 damage from the flyer. And now we got a Ninja's Kunai, right? Here's an interesting fact. With 1 creature, I can't attack for 2, survive the 2, and then use the Kunai because I can't tap it. So, unfortunately, I'm kind of stuck on that one. And well, with Michigo's down, and I've only got 1 enchantment out there, I ain't super happy about that either. But I could put this artifact creature out with an artifact out and get 2 more pump spells to go with the Michigo's Reign of Truth. And I think that that's my best answer. So we're going to full cast this thing, right? And then we're going to just throw this thing on the deck and let it sit. We're not in any kind of rush here. Our life total's fine, even though we've been kind of mana turned off for a little bit. And we have the ability to double spell on the next turn. That's when things get real, real nice. We'll say pass, I think. Cool. Another artifact for us to deal with. We have a total of 5 mana here. So as long as we're not tapping a white, we can throw this one out and get that extra +1 sticking onto the Mukutai Ambusher. So here we go. First one. Pick the lifelinker. Now, that's pretty solid, right? It's a +5 that's on there, and this one means will be a +6. So the question that you have to ask is, do you want to stick it on the Selfless Samurai anyway? Because you're going to get your 5 back and it'll be 20, and then this will help you get 7 damage across the finish line. I feel like that's worth more than getting 7 more health, right? I kind of want to start to change the pace of this. We've been sitting back. We haven't attacked yet. So let's go this way. Click next. Double attack with our 2 8 7s and 8 8. This is like a cityscape leveler to give you a perspective on what happened. Oh no. Is he going to do it twice? He's going to do it twice. Oh no. Touche, my friend. Touche. We will still be doing this again to much lesser effect on the Hand of Enlightenment and the Iron Apprentice. Ouch, kabibbles. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, we go here. And we can go here. Same exact idea. Hoping to maybe get a lesser attack in. No, there's no reason to do this. Not when they're carrying all those pluses. Oh, he doesn't even stop it? What the heck? No blocks? No, not even a chumpy block? If I pop this out at full cost, I don't really have... Well, I do. I have the 2 mana to attach it, but I can't tap it. So nothing's happened with the Ninja's Kunai on this turn no matter what. So let's go full cost again. And let's go... Selfless Samurai again. Mr. Bounce Spell with your silly tempo. And then let's just say end the turn. It was a pretty solid move on his part, I gotta admit. Yep, pass. We were supposed to have 20 life. We were supposed to not care. So many good things were supposed to happen. We didn't. Alright, double Michigos coming in. Looking solid. Would love to get rid of our flyer at this moment right now. Probably will attack with everybody except the Selfless Samurai. Maybe bounce out the Hand of Enlightenment for the Prosperous Thief. Just for the memes at this point right here, right? So we say yay. Bring you back. Go, go. Hopefully Iron Apprentice gets blocked is what I'm hoping happens. Yep, that worked. We do this. We take out the Hand of Enlightenment because it's only going to hit for 2 anyway, and this thing's going to hit for 3, so it's a win. We gain the treasure token off of it, and we gain a second try at the enchantment saga over here. Oh, who do you want to put a +1 on? Probably the lifelinker, right? Seems like it's the most effective. Let's go, let's go. Sure. We don't need any more mana. That sounds good. And we still have 2 mana left, so let's go ahead and Be efficient. Don't be efficient. Just be efficient. We could have finished it off. That was the more efficient way of doing it. But here we are at the end of the turn. We've gotten through a lot of turns and not a lot of mana. So, man, you can really feel the 16 land situation going on around here. And then we'll click next. All attack. You can only block, you know, one of them. So it's pretty much over at this point. So let's just, for funsies, drop in the 5/5 and see how much damage we're swinging for. Seems like 18. That's not bad. Michigo's Reign of Truth is just nuts. Absolutely nuts. So that's the deck. I feel strong about it. I like the plays that exist inside of it. It does seem to me like it is much more robust than some of the other decks that I've put together. I do think that we have a good shot, although we are going up against some pretty tough opponents now. We're up into the platinum range as far as our ranked is concerned. Yeah, you run 10 drafts in a month. What do you think is going to happen? So let's take a look and see how we do here, right? And in our first game, we found an opponent nice and quick. We're hoping they've gotten a chance to drink some beers after work. We have 3 lands already, I can tell you. We have all 3 of our colors. We are as happy as could be because we have our Tameshi, we have our Magicos. Like we, only thing I would say is we may not need the Moth Rider, and we could have had the Ninja's Kunai and called it a perfect sweep. I think this is how we're going to play the hand. Turn 1, going to have a Reckoner Raid. Turn 2, we'll put out a Moth Rider Patrol, but we're not really going to do anything. He's just there for distraction. Turn 3, we put out a Tameshi. And then turn 4, we have no problems running a Michiko's Reign of Truth on maybe the Moth Rider if it's still around. Let's go. 1 enchantment on the deck. He's got the Decepticons. Gotta love it. Not going to run into any mana problems. This hand, we have our colors and we have our volume. And that's sometimes the difference between a 40 and a 42% chance or a 43% chance on land. It's just pretty crazy. Huge misplay. Huge misplay. I have to assume that he's kind of screwed on land at this moment right now because there's just absolutely no way that was the right play. Like none whatsoever. I'm not nervous about putting Tameshi out, but I don't have that Samurai to protect at this moment right now. And so a part of me wants to just put out the Era of Enlightenment on this turn instead of the Michigo's Reign of Truth and let Tameshi sit back for just one more turn to see what we're dealing with, right? We are going to pick up that extra land because we want to keep rolling in the right direction, and then we've got our removal spell ready to go. And so we're feeling saucy. We'll say attack. Got the 1 in. Nothing exciting there. Michiko's would come down. Michiko's would come down for us with 1, 2, and then it would be number 3. So it would be a +3/+3. Okay, so we're clearly dealing with Samurai, right? We've got red and white colors. We've got the Samurai. And I kind of feel like we're taking candy from a baby on this one. Nothing in the graveyard yet. So no enchantment to recur or, artifact to recur or creature to recur. I think right now is our best bet to throw some attack in and get a sense of what the heck we could do. Yeah, I know it's not like the most impactful, but we have another Michiko's Reign of Truth. So let's teach this guy what you're supposed to do with this card. You're supposed to put it on after these things are out, not before these things are out. Burning Slash does allow us to get rid of an enchantment, and Portraits of Michigo is an enchantment. So if he attaches the Ancestral Katana, unfortunately we've got the 2 white necessary with the card coming to get rid of it, and we'll even have enough mana to come back and cast our Tameshi. And we would have one heck of a... So if I do this, I can attack again, and he'll be swinging back for 4, right? I do think that's the right answer, though. we don't have an artifact, and she is not an artifact. So unfortunately, we will miss out on the small little tutu that we can get from the Burning Slash. But this thing can just be very dangerous, and I don't want to take 4 damage that I don't have to, if I can avoid it. So, Portraits of Michigo, go bye-bye. It certainly hurts on the katana, you know, sitting there now without something gone through its summoning sickness. Another 6 damage, and ooh, only 1 damage. Nice. Let's get out here, because guess what we have now? Oh, no, it exiled. Ooh, okay. All right. You're in a sorcery screen. Oh, man. Tameshi doesn't have a target. This really exiles. Ooh, ouch, kabibbles. The reason why I just slammed out the Tameshi, though, was because he just used his removal spell. And when stuff like that happens, it can be very frustrating. Okay, so I do believe that if we put this out now, which we might as well do, we will have a pretty good attack with the Portrait of Michigo on the ground on the next turn. Unfortunately, we don't have the mana to tap her, and if we attack all in, well, no, he's spent on mana, so we can attack all in. I'm not sure why we would do it, so I'm just going to hold back on it and just say 1 attack. Get the 1. We're really nice and wide at this point. Peerless Samurai could try to attack, but it's only going to help him get 1 mana extra, so he'd be casting something big on the next turn. And that's fine, but I can tap it. There's no blockers. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. He has to cast something to make a block. This will help pump Michigo up. It won't be enough to save her. She will trade with the Azari Captain, and I am very happy with that. We will all attack in to keep the pressure on. Well, I did recognize the value there, but you kind of messed up because you're down to 1, and you're dead in the air. I'm not looking to play a long, dirtily game at this point. She'll get +2 as well because of the Azari Captain giving, you know, an extra 1 for each samurai that's out there. But I'm just going to Circuit Mender, chump block. Oh no, I can't. So he's getting in. Get you. So, boy, I would not be attacking as if I had an endless life. If he puts out something that has reach, I can tap it. Good game. I guess if we didn't have a good start with the Michigo and get the 5 in, this would have gotten a little bit closer. We can still chump block our way through, and the rest of our deck has pieces of it that create chump blockers. So we are built to fight Samurai. Like, that is kind of what we're at. But as it stands, 1 win, no losses. Let's roll. I dig it. I really, really dig it. Four lands. That's every blue card in our deck. Or every blue mana in our deck. Ooh, this is risky. He's given us nothing. We have no idea what Kyle is up to. Do we think that we could get run over here? Or maybe we could get aced out of white and not be able to cast? We do have the black. I hate the idea of putting this out as the first thing because it's just going to die. That was painful. It was worth it, but it was painful. No black mana means we'll put the Okiba Reckoner Raid back, unfortunately. Normally I would get rid of this, but we actually have 3 out of the 4 mana necessary, and not going to have a lot of board presence until turn 3 anyway. So, yeah, you know what? Let's put the Repelivile back. There's not going to be anything in the first 3 turns that I'm going to be so desperate to get rid of. We'll start with you. And then we will play you. And they will think we are white and blue. Well, we got our black mana, which is good. So we're going to change our tune just a touch. That negates the Mothrider Patrol's damage. And now we've got the Ninja's Kunai kind of threatening. You know, should you happen to put down a creature with 3 or less toughness, I will be killing it. Thanks. Got the health back. We'll go here, and we'll go here. And just pass the turn. Everybody's in Summoning Sickness, and all of our mana has been spent. Oh, now that is worth lethal exploiting. We do not want to see anybody get their enchantment deck set up. It is rough, man. The enchantment deck has got some really big creatures. Of all of the decks that are out here, I feel like it is probably the best one to beat us. It's okay. We're still looking at the Ninja's Kunai here. I might as well just get the life, right? Well, so is he. So, no. I mean, the way I see it, if I get 2 life and he gets 2 life, he's indestructible. There's no reason to give him a chance to double block and possibly make me lose my guy. The life is not worth it. Harmonious Emergence. I'm going to let go. And I'm going to get rid of the Naturalist here. I have an artifact. I have an enchantment. It will give me an extra body that I could chump block. It's a 4/4. It does delay. But the Naturalist just gives him the ability to ramp out so fast. So fast. And he's all out of mana. So I know the artifact, losing the 2... It's kind of like losing a 2/2 body, huh? So let's just for 2 seconds assume that I attacked in. I would get 1 block and Naturalist would kill Golden Tail and Nazumi would get in for 2, and that's just not that exciting because he'd be gaining back 3. If I just attacked with this guy, he'd have to double block, and I could take out Weaver of Harmony and make Jukai a much lower lower effective guy. That's a pretty solid trade. I think I do this. Yeah, see, I don't think he wanted to touch that because he would lose the Weaver of Harmony, and that's his +1 bonus that's on there. Ooh, I'm scared. He doesn't get much. I kind of want to see him spend his mana. I think I'm just going to chump block. I think I just chump block this. Let's see if he spends his mana out. He spends none. None. He knows the Ninja Kunai is coming out, and there is another safekeeping. Guaranteed. So, at this moment, I think the best thing for me to do is to gain back some life, throw out the Michigos, and attack in. We'd be up 1, 2, 3, 4, so we could make this into an 8/8. It would definitely get blocked by something, probably the Moth Rider, right? And we wouldn't gain any life, but we would gain the 2/2 body. So I think we're going to do it that way first and put him in a tougher spot later on. Next. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. And then we just do this and this. That gives him free reign on the way back in. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. We don't need that. We just need that. And is he spent on mana? He is. Bye-bye. Everything just got a little bit more expensive. He's got 1 mana left, and I'm assuming he's got a safekeeping in there. Right? I kind of want Naomi to attack. I don't want her to get popped again. I don't mind this. I don't have the artifact anymore. I messed up. I messed up. Yeah, misplays happen. Okay. I messed up. I thought I had the artifact. I thought I was going to make a 2/2 and I was going to have a blocker and I had a plan and it didn't pan out. That's my bad. Oops. Yeah, we're definitely jumping here. Jump. Would love to get a removal spell for a terrible forest card. Enchantments are rough, dude. They just are rough. No, no attacks. Auto pay, yes. Let's go. This thing's scary. Exile target creature card from the graveyard, and when you do, you get to create one every time it attacks, right? Yeah, we can block that with 1. That's no big deal. This isn't exactly the best card ever. Let's see what's coming. We don't need that. We do need that. So we'll do that. And then we might even chump with it later on. No attacks. Say yay. Okay. Ah, nice. Nice. All right. We have a card that affects the board. We have a card that gives us some health. We just picked up 2 more health, so we're stabilizing back on the health pieces, but we're still not anywhere near the ability to attack into this. So we'll just auto-pay that and keep getting wider. Unfortunately, he's also going to keep getting wider. Trying to think, like, what's my way through this? Oh, that's death for us, I believe. He got rid of all 2, not all 3, 2. Oh no. I'm gonna say no on the attacks. I'll say auto pay on this. And maybe hmm. Hmm. Ooh, I kind of like that. What if I throw a Michigos and throw the Golden Tail Disciple out? What am I going to get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it would be a 12-12. That could just get chumped, but or not a 12-12 because it would be on this 6. So we would be like more like an 8-8. But I think I'm okay with that in order to get all the extra life and hopefully set up a crackback. So I think we do this. And then we just attack with this one guy and find out what he wants to do. You can just jump, right? But gaining the life is huge for us. And we might even be able to do that again. Oops. I'm okay with that. Even if I lose it, I got to take a stab at it. Damn. Well, was what it was. We had to give it a shot. I don't see how we win unless we get rid of that thing. I still want that. And I'll go next and attack. Stop counting. Damn it. Ooh. Yeah, we ain't got nothing. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 16, plus 6 is 22, 25. We're literally at parity. Like, we'd have 1 health left. And the best that we would accomplish if we attacked in is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 damage, and then he would have a full board on the crackback. There's just no way. We're not anywhere near lethal after he full sends. Even if he does, he still has the 3 blockers over here. So we say no. We just, unfortunately, pop that out there. Yeah, that's fine. I love how the game assumes that you're trying to ninjutsu it, and then when you don't, it's like, whoa, we had to change our mind on that. Like, it's kind of funny. I think we lose this grind, by the way. I just don't see good answers here. This guy's got a lot of tricks. And I just feel like we're kind of out of tricks, don't you think? I mean, we need this removal spell over here. That's fine. Mm-hmm. All we're drawing is land at this point. That's not going to help much. Come on. Be dumb. You attack first. We only got 2 more cards left. There's not much I can do here. I mean, we have the... Oh, did we already use it? I feel like we used it already. It's kind of a crazy situation. He's got 18 cards and I've got 21. I might be able to deck him. It's a lot of holding off, and he'll know. Nah, no attacks, it's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yep. I'm running out of stuff in here, my friend. Oh, but you're not. Spreading it out a little, huh? Boom. Gotta stop doing that. He's just doing to spend the mana? He's down to 15? 16. It's taking a while. I'm at 19. I could give up a card since I'm going to be losing 2 creatures fast, and it's going to present a big problem. I'm not going to make 10, 12, 13, 14 more turns. You know what I mean? This dude is a pro. I'm just going to point this out. He's tapping my Moth Rider to prevent me from tapping his guy that's about to attack. He's expertly grinding his way through this entire set. And he just... I don't think he makes a lot of mistakes. Let's put it that way. I don't have much hope here. I will definitely use my Circuit Mender to block. Yeah, I get it. I get it. A removal spell would be incredible. So I could get rid of that thing, and then I could tap that thing, and then I'd be okay. But unfortunately, I think I'm out of removal. I have a Repel the Vial. It's been sitting in the bottom 18 at this point. An Iron Apprentice is a decent block. Banishing Slash is an incredibly good removal spell. Would have loved to have drawn that like 15 turns ago. Gravelighter would have been amazing. So like most of our removal just isn't going to show up right now. That sucks. Uh-huh. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah, get it in there. You should have still attacked with the force too. What are you down to? 14, 15. Dude, his turns take so long. Dude, turtles all over the place. Stop it. Come on. First removal spell, second removal spell. Just give them both to me. Please. I need a removal spell. Gotta stop with the land. I've got almost more removal spells than land. And I had this Tameshi that he drained my entire reality out of. I never got a chance to cast that. Boy, I gotta say, our deck is good, and it just is really failing us on the draw here. That's why we're taking so much damage. Mm-hmm. Yep, good game. I'm not gonna sit here and wait this out. It takes too long. All right, that hurt. He played a very, very good game. I would have easily been able to win if with just one removal spell shows up. That's 30 draws without a removal spell. That's pretty rough stuff. That doesn't happen too often. I had about a 25% chance of pulling a removal spell out. What was left in the deck, because there were 3, and it's about a third actually of the 15 cards that were left. So let's call it a 33% chance of pulling it out. But I just couldn't do it. Yeah, those last 5 draws were just brutal. Absolutely brutal. So, ouch, kabibbles. Nothing I can do. Well, at least we've got the mana. Like, we got the colors. Let's hope that we don't do that again. Green grind is just really, really tough. I don't see myself doing anything on the next turn. It's going to hand out +1 counters to everybody that comes in. Yeah, okay. You're worth killing. You're worth killing. Yeah, that would have been one of them. I do need something to stop that from hitting. And I do need an Iron Apprentice. Move spell? I need the Iron Apprentice to block in case he throws that down. I would not use the Ninja's Kunai on him there. Bear of Memory is good. It's not great. I kind of like my blocks like this at this point right now. And I'm certainly not spending mana just to spend mana, right? So we say next, if we attacked in, we would get what? Double hit, and we would take the Coiling Serpent with us. So that's not worth it. We could have annihilated that board with an attack trade out the Coiling Serpent. Bearer of Memory takes out Undercity Scrounger, and then Ninja's Kunai takes out Bearer of Memory. Just not so sure that that's like the most impactful kind of thing for us to do. Like, these are not the biggest threats in the game that we're facing right now. And some of this stuff I would prefer. Okay, so we got to do something now, right? The theory would be throw the Undercity Scrounger up, use the Ninja Kunai, right, on it. He could still have a Michigo's Rain, or not a Michigo's, but a Safekeeping that's on there. 2/2 First Striker is a little scary. If we all attack, and he double blocks and let one get through, I can still finish off the other one. So, yeah, let's do... I guess we will take out the Bearer Memory, right? Like, we don't want that to last any longer than it has to. So we take it out. And then we'll all attack here. And if he decides to trade with the Coiling Serpent, we're in good shape. And if he doesn't, we ninjutsu in and life gain out. Nice. And you can attack for 2 and, you know, take a guess at what I'm going to do next. This is not, a 2/2 First Striker is good, but I don't see any. I don't want to repel the Vial on it. It's one of our better removal spells. So he'll get the +1 counter on the Coiling Serpent. Oh, no, he won't. Never mind. Ooh. What's he get to do again? Ah! Ouch, kabibbles. That hurts. He doesn't have Death Touch on that creature any longer. So, I'm cool with this. And do we want the treasure token instead? Didn't a creature just die? I don't know. I'm confused. I could have sworn I was going to get an opportunity to create a treasure token. Does exile not count as dead? Okay. On the positive side, most of our bigger threats, like this has been a nice ramp because we're dealing with kind of the small ball stuff, right? That's down here. On the negative side, something's coming. Pre-combat. 4 mana. Yeah. I'll chump it like this. I will put the +1 on the lifelinker, like that. I'll go pass to end and say, boop! I would like a treasure, please. I will take that. I will get rid of... Yep. He can do 3 damage, right? Let's give him a reason to try to block this. Yeah, I think we do. I'd like to get Michiko out there. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. We'll go here. We'll attack like that with some lifelink. We'll see what happens. Okay. And then is this, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you get to remove a death touch counter, and when you do, you get to get rid of something. He's got no more counters on him, so that's fine. We can let him take the 1 damage, have him attack for 2, and just block it. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to make another one, because we killed his creature, but it was an exile, and the question mark is like, is this a creature? I don't know, it's just an enchantment aura, so not a creature. It's a green spirit creature, so a creature did die, right? Anyway, it was a nice swing for us. We definitely got a much more effect out of our removal spell there than we did on the other ones. We don't have much more removal left, though, so it would be nice to get our little girl out here. What is she? The Tameshi? And then we can start pulling things like the kunai back out. Oh, he's got removal. I think he's an enchantment, though, so I'm definitely not sacrificing him. Yeah, right? Yeah. Can heal up a little bit. I'll attack. Screw it. Coming for you. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, Michiko will be a 4/4, which is pretty solid stuff. Circuit Mender can block Hand of Enlightenment. And even if it gets killed, it's okay. I mean, if he ends up throwing a spell on this, like, we still get a card out of it. And when you're sitting here with nothing on deck, I think that there's a good reason to do that. It's half the mana. What's the other half the mana going to do? Go 1 for 1. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Gonna hand it to you. Gotta like it. We can't let that happen again, but we can do this. And then end the turn. We'll hold on to this swamp and make him think that we got ourselves a threat here. Definitely this enchantment-y kind of thing. We're just preventing him from getting off the board. He pulls him out early, which I find very, very interesting. Past end. Okay, okay, okay. So we'll throw the extra mana out, and we'll do this. We've got, how much mana left? 3? So if we do the 2 and the 1, we won't have enough to cast the kunai that's back out there. But we could put the Iron Apprentice back on the board. And I kind of like that deal a little bit more. So let's do that, right? So we'll go with 1. And the kunai would be on the board, 1, 2, but we wouldn't have enough to do anything more than just attach it. So we're going to do the Iron Apprentice here, right? And we'll bounce a already spent land back. We won't make it our one and only blue, but we will get a card out of this, and then we'll use this to get something else on the board. As far as this is concerned, I do think that we need to prevent attacks from coming in. So I've got a blocker and a blocker. If I attack with my Circuit Mender, I think I do. Just keep the pressure going, right? And I'm fine with trading it, because again, I get the card, and just hoping it's not a land. Right? Cool. Yeah. It's good trade for me. Ooh. Okay. Um. I'm a little afraid. I don't think I need the treasure anyway, so I'm just going to end the turn. There's no reason to try to fill up the coffers for something that we're essentially not going to use. We have the 2 here. We can just banish out something later if we need it. I'm assuming he's going to have some more of these like harmonious emergences. They are pretty prevalent, and well, that's not bad either, and I wouldn't mind slashing that. Boy, he loves his coiling stalkers, doesn't he? Oh, I'll meet you guys, right? Oh. Okay, shenanigans on removal? I think the answer is yes. Okay. I could Circuit Mender it back in, or I could Ninja Kunai and go for the lethal on that side, or go on the offense, and I think we'd do the offense, right? So we're just gonna... What the hell? +1. Why wouldn't it let me do it? That was so weird. I was lost. We can bounce... shoot! I forgot about the white. We'll bounce the black here. It's okay. We drew a white. We're okay. We'll attach you to... what do you say, May? Like, can I attach you to this? Can't attack or block. Will that work? Nah, it won't work. It was worth a try, though. It was a 1-mana try. We're probably not going to block with this guy, right? Go. We could have gone for face on that too. So we'll say next. I like the idea of attacking in with this. Pop it under her. It's fine. Click end turn. Give him a chance to get some damage in here. And I think we just Ninja Kunai again. Let's go to face. That will give us, we use 1, 2, and then we use 2 to blow. And we use 1, 2, and then 2 to blow. So it would be a 2-turn clock if we do it that way. Get your ninjas out there. You can do it, I swear. I'm assuming he knows what he's doing, so I'm not even going to block it. He'll do his ninjutsus if he had them. Didn't seem to be a lot of reason. Oh, you're so good. That still gives me a Ninja Kunai to the face. It has to be a tapped creature, huh? Yeah, we'll do the thing again. What do you say? Do the thing again, go to face, right? God, stop drawing land. Like, you're supposed to give me card advantage, not land advantage. Like, stop drawing land. You're driving me crazy. I think every single card that I drew off of that was land. That was weird. But oh well. These are very slow games with a lot of dirtling, but we are 2-1, And we are going to take a break because unfortunately we are out of time. We will come back tomorrow and try to finish this up. We played a really bad player, we played a really good player, and then we beat a player that I think is with us as far as skill level is concerned. Um, Tomorrow we'll get 5,000 gold if we get a decent, you know, deal. So we'll get a chance to do another one of these. I would bet, I'd bet we get to 5 wins with this one. So if we can do something like that, oh yeah, that's fine. We can do a lot better. Um, all in all, I still think it's a good deck. I am kind of shocked that we're not able to use the removal spells as effectively as I want, but those enchantment decks are tough, dude. They're just tough. They pull out creatures with 3 mana that are 4 or 5, and they're just rough. You do lose the land, but it doesn't hurt you that bad when you've got, you know, things like the Jukai and stuff like that. So we'll take a break there. Unfortunately, we only got through 3 games because each game took like 25 minutes. It was crazy how long that took. Well, they didn't each. They took like 20 minutes each game, though. So hopefully tomorrow's games will go a little bit quicker. Would rather have an average game time fall something in the nature of like 10 minutes. But we'll see how this works out. Till then,